सीए बहुत ही फ्रस्ट्रेटिंग, बोरिंग एंड इरिटेटिंग सा कोर्स है। ये नोशन मेजॉरिटी लोगों का सीए को लेके है। ये सिर्फ लोगों का नहीं, जो स्टूडेंट्स सीए एस्पिरेंट्स हैं उनका भी यही सोच है। हम लोग अपनी ही जर्नी को कितना स्मूथ बना सकते हैं, आउटकम को कितना बेटर कर सकते हैं अगर हम लोग दूसरा परसेप्शन ले, ये कि सीए वो कोर्स है विच हैज़ वन ऑफ द बेस्ट आरओआई इन द कंट्री। ये बहुत ही होलिस्टिक एक्सपीरियंस देता है। इसके अंदर पढ़ाई के साथ साथ इंडस्ट्री एंड प्रैक्टिकल इंसाइट्स भी मिलता है, जैसे आर्टिकलशिप एंड इंडस्ट्रियल ट्रेनिंग। इस वीडियो कॉन्वर्सेशन में हमारे साथ अपूर्वा शर्मा है। अपूर्वा का यही सोच मेरे को रिफ्रेशिंगली बहुत ही अच्छा और नया लगा है। She is a graduate from Hansraj College, Delhi University, and she has completed her CA. Today she is working in Bain. उसका positive mindset and clear and simple attitude towards things is very, very clearly visible in the video conversation. Stay tuned to watch the entire video conversation. Apurva, can you just share, you've completed your CA, you're working in Bain. What was your major motivation to do a course like Chartered Accountancy? A little brief on your what was the rationale or what was the motivating factor?
Sure. So I think just a little bit background. So what happened was when I was in class 8, there used to be an exam called NTSE. So to crack that, I joined FITZI. So for 3 years, I was in FITZI. It's a like IIT JEE preparation institute. And I thought I'll be a doctor, not an engineer because not so good at maths. I thought I'll be a doctor. But then my mother was like, at her back of the mind, she was like, ki nahi, doctor's life to bahut hi tough hoti hai. Let me mold her into something else. So she prepared all the background and convinced me ki CA bahut acha course hai. Let's do CA. So like I was fully convinced into my class 10th ki nahi, main to doctor hi banungi. And then suddenly I had to take commerce. Like she convinced me ki CA bahut acha hai. Office job hoti hai, achhi life. And then you are a child, मतलब इतना कुछ नहीं पता होता. You know limited options. So then yeah, I took CA class 11. मतलब in 11th में I thought I'll take CA. Then 12th में I gave my CPT, which is the level 1 exam. So yeah, that's how I entered CA. And what kept me motivated was I feel CA is one of the courses जिसमें पढ़ाई के साथ there is a like on ground field work also, which is the 3-year articleship. So I had a feeling that it's a very systematic course. I think that's what kept me going. I felt that it's very systematic, like आप पढ़ भी रहे हो, आप काम भी कर रहे हो. So at the end of the day, I'll know something. So
You were very positive about the CA course. Nice. As it is, I feel Jaipur mein there's this commerce mein there are quite some people who do CA, I think.
Yeah, I think the positive, मतलब उसमें तो a whole list of conversations will begin ki why people have become pessimist about CA nowadays. It's a lot of industry marketing factor also कि कैसे ACCA brands are playing with the mind. But I like the course at very first go. So I think वो positivity और अब तो CA बन गए हैं, so वो pride आ ही जाता है in whatever you have done.
Yeah, we are on the other side of the boat. That also creates a lot of difference.
Right.
So you chose since you were so fixated on CA, like, and you did go to Delhi University, and university is a regular college. So what made you consider DU or basically doing BCom from Hansraj College versus a regular college should have ensured a more smoother completion or on-time completion of CA? So what was your, because if you're so that I've seen many people are so fixated on CA that they prefer completing CA on time because you get things quicker, you then move into the industry quicker. So what was your thought of taking Hansraj along with CA?
Yeah, I think the only motivation was DU appeared to be a very glamorous world. Like to a student of class 12th in Jaipur, you feel like Delhi, a big city, and Delhi University being one of the most top-notch college. So you feel, I think for me personally, it was like, why to miss it out? If you are getting an admission in North Campus, like, why to miss out? ठीक है कर लेंगे, 1 साल में नहीं होगा, 1.5 साल में हो जाएगा. So I think that was the little bit of thought, and बस उसी से ही हो गया कि ठीक है.
So how did you have your awareness about Delhi University, or how was it? Was it school? Was it friends? Was it family?
Yeah, I would say that would be family. So my mother would be, again, the answer would be my mother, because she thought that I should do CA. So whenever I understand कि I don't know आजकल कितना होता है, but earlier was to happen कि 12th के बाद ही, like जब results आते थे 1 month before results, newspaper में elaborate articles used to come, like how to crack these courses. So she used to keep reading and keep cuttings that, ये college होता है, this is the process. So I think that was the time, because I think हम लोग के time में internet wasn't that prevalent. Like जब हम लोग class 11 12th में थे, it wasn't that prevalent. तो ऐसा नहीं है कि कहीं और से information आता था. It would be family.
Yeah, very, very interesting. More interesting is the fact that how beautifully your mom has played a role in your career, and
Yeah.
in terms of the information awareness, guideline, and everything. That's very beautiful. So if we come to DU is a very extensive college. The whole experience of DU is a thing in itself. It's like an emotion. It's a world out there, and as you said, it looks glamorous. So there are many reasons also why it looks that. It has a very lively college life. I would
Yeah.
just love to go to campus when I was back there. So how was Hansraj? How much role did Hansraj play in shaping up, in your professional developments or say personal development? What is your take on Hansraj role in it?
So I would divide the North Campus experience into two parts. First is because North Campus generally hum log ke, like colleges don't have hostels, or even if we have hostels, you don't get seat in the hostel. So you live in a PG. So I think learnings happen at two places. One is the PG level, because I used to stay in a PG which was like 100 plus girls ka PG.
Okay.
So with girls from all over, like all the colleges. So I think that is again a whole lot of learning, and then the college life of learning. If we specifically stick to Hansraj ka learning, I think societies, which we call like the cultural societies, huge part unka hota hi hai, matlab the confidence building, the event management. Then you see everyone is like no one is stopping. Koi internship kar raha hai, koi fighting for a presidentship, someone is doing a research paper. So you are always like, what next should I do? So I think that is the only motivation which keeps you pulling throughout these 3 years. And at the end of the day, you end up doing like hundreds of things which you never imagined you would have done. So yeah, I think
The environment.
in one word, it kept pushing me. The environment kept pushing me.
You were part of entrepreneur cell, like you were very actively part of it. You held a good as well. So how would you like, you can just give us a little brief on your experience or any project or anything that you had worked upon which was very interesting, or anything like your experience or any project that is very interesting, that was interesting for you.
Yeah. So I entered, so entrepreneurship is very different in commerce colleges if we compare it to the IITs
Okay.
or the NITs of the world. So there, the entrepreneurship is very much developed. In commerce colleges, it's still nascent and it is restricted to event management. Like you organize event, you invite certain speakers. Abhi it is developing. Abhi there, like लोगों ने कुछ कुछ अपना FMCG startup, कुछ छोड़ा मोड़ा start करा है. But it is still at a very nascent stage if we compare it to engineering colleges. At our times, it was purely event based. So we used to invite speakers to like throughout the had some business competitions. So yeah, that only I think the good part which I learned from there were event management skills, number one. And second, what highlight of my tenure there would be, so we tried to open up an incubation center in college. So we initiated those talks. Now the incubation center is registered. It just got registered last year. But we that time got a chance to at least initiate talks for it. So yeah, I think personally that would be the highlight for me.
I think they help us build ourselves on a very soft skills, like on a soft skill level. The soft skills that we develop over there are the base for whatever we are adding on going ahead in life.
Right. And secondly, friendships. Matlab, at present, like one group I have is the ECEL core team. So that time, the core team which we had, I think that is the group of friends which you carry for lifetime, because उन लोगों के साथ society में आपने सुबह से शाम काम करा होता है, you have done parties, you have done post event parties, so that is the group which always stays through lifetime.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, a group of friends as well.
सोसाइटीज में आई थिंक बहुत बड़ा ओपनिंग फैक्टर होता है डीयू में, मतलब वेरी हम लोग को बिफोर, मतलब व्हेन आई वाज इन स्कूल आई वाज नॉट अवेयर ऑफ सोसाइटीज आल्सो, बट कॉलेज में एंटर करते दे आर लाइक bombarded on you like anything, and but learning on a personal level is insane in societies, and that also comes to your professional level in terms of pushing you out of your comfort zone and being a little more clear-headed, more aggressive also at times.
That's true.
Yes. So you did your articleship in KPMG. How was your interview in KPMG? And then if we have another thing is, if somebody is preparing for a Big Four articleship, any good relevant or reliable resources that people need to prepare, or even if they have to look back at their books, what should people look at the resources when they're preparing for the interview?
Got it. I think I would answer the latter question first, the resources part, because I won't have much inputs there. So I'll cover it shortly. Because again, it's been like 4.5 years since I have given my articleship interviews. So things must have changed a lot. But still, what holds relevance is कि generally so we have attempts twice, right? One is November, one is I think May. So November attempt में क्या होता है? Always budget, by the time you have your interview in Jan Feb, budget comes out. Right. So one pro tip is कि always budget आ जाता है जब तक, so you just have a glimpse at the budget. Second is the interviewers know that you know nothing except what you have learned in the books. So they don't expect you to know each and everything practically. What they expect is जो IPC में पढ़ा है उस पे conceptually you'll be able to answer things. So I think वही थोड़ा सा IPC का ही, that's the level 2 exam. उसका थोड़ा सा brush up कर लो. If you are giving a tax interview, then थोड़ा tax का कर लो. If you are giving an audit interview, then a little bit of audit. And then obviously budget. Yeah, I think that would be it.
If I could summarize, basically जो हम लोग level 2 में पढ़े, इंटर में पढ़े, IPC वो, and थोड़ा awareness. अगर budget का, if you are in the budget,
very little bit of awareness, right.
Budget वाले session में तो budget, then anything else that's actually going on in the market. ठीक है.
Yeah.
And then coming to your interview, how many rounds are there?
Yeah. So my interview experience, just a funny part. So what happens कि interviews ना थोड़ा सा grey होता है, मतलब grey in the sense it's not a very transparent landscape. I think that is true for every job वैसे तो, कि आपको पता. So if I because मैंने सिर्फ Big Four के interviews दिए थे, if I specifically talk about Big Four, so Big Four में there is so much departmentalization, and each department has a separate HR team. So it's not a centralized HR team. So in 2 of the interviews I gave with 2 different firms, so what happened was I thought that I will be giving a tax ka interview, and it ended up to be an audit interview.
Okay.
And in the other firm, the whole day I was thinking or preparing that it will be an audit interview, and the interview was actually a tax interview.
Okay.
So इतना level of gray area होता है कि many a times एकदम end तक भी आपको नहीं पता होता कि कौन से team में you will be taken.
Okay.
So that was the funny part which I recall. उसके अलावा तो यार मैंने टैक्स ऑडिट का इंटरव्यूज दिया था. अगेन some things were asked on budget, some things were asked from the course, but the end remains same, that they don't expect you to know things very well. They just expect you कि थोड़ा confidence हो and you know the basics of things.
So ऐसे rounds का क्या है? Like, so how is it? Is there an aptitude test, or how does it, like, how many rounds are there? From whatever I know, there's an aptitude test and an interview round. Or is there more?
Yeah, so specifically for Big Four interviews, because I've just given them. So there is obviously an aptitude test, जिसमें general mental ability के questions होते हैं, some maths, English questions, and then specific to कभी-कभी क्या होता है, if you are giving it for audit, कभी-कभी ज़्यादा proportion of questions are for audit, and sometimes the proportion is for tax. So इस तरह से होता था aptitude test. Generally, I think a 1 hour in my days it used to be an 1 hour aptitude test. उसके बाद group discussion होता है. Generally, like again, general हर firm का different होता है. There is a group discussion जिसमें वो लोग filter कर देते हैं बहुत सारे लोग. And then there are, I think, HR round होता है एक, उसके बाद एक manager round होता है, and एक partner round होता है. So generally 3 rounds are there.
GD के बाद.
हाँ.
अच्छा.
Right. 3 rounds. So it's again very personal. So let's suppose अगर बहुत ज्यादा hiring pressure है, people don't have time. So कभी कभी क्या होगा, GD में बहुत सारे बच्चे निकाल देंगे, direct manager partner round हो जाएगा. So it could change, but I think दो तो होते ही होते हैं. मतलब partner round always happens. The length of it may shorten कि partner के पास time नहीं है तो 10 मिनट में pressure testing कर ली. उनके पास time है तो they might take 30 minutes.
Okay.
तो the duration might differ. बट जनरली आई वुड से कि 3 राउंड्स तो होते हैं. कभी कभी HR राउंड फोन पर हो जाता है, दैट वेज.
राइट. HR राउंड को इजी रखते हैं. सो बेसिकली एप्टीट्यूड टेस्ट, GD एंड 2 to 3 राउंड्स ऑफ इंटरव्यू.
राइट.
तो कोई अगर बिग फोर में आर्टिकलशिप करता है तो उसका मेजर कंसर्न तो यही होता है कि हाउ विल दे मैनेज देयर CA फाइनल प्रेपरेशन अलोंग विद द वर्कलोड. तो you could just throw some light ki how many months of leave on an average people get, and if you could like a little personal journey of yours ki how you went about, like right approach or things that you followed which helped you sail that boat.
The question on कि my journey and my key takeaways कि कैसे पढ़ाई मैनेज करें, आई वुड से यार कि थोड़ा वो माइंडसेट शिफ्ट. वन इज द माइंडसेट शिफ्ट कि आर्टिकलशिप लेट्स सपोज ज्यादा से ज्यादा अगर 12 घंटे की भी है, तो 12 घंटे के अलावा भी अगर जो 12 घंटे मिले उसमें सोने खाने का भी टाइम निकाल लो, तो उसके अलावा भी जो 2 ढाई 3 घंटे मिले, सो माइंडसेट शिफ्ट वो करना ही पड़ेगा डे वन पे कि 3 साल के लिए वो जो एडिशनल 3 घंटे मिल रहे हैं उसमें पढ़ना ही है. मतलब यू कैन नॉट गो आउट विद फ्रेंड्स और यू कैन नॉट हैव द लीवे कि यार बहुत काम कर लिया तो थोड़ा मूवी देख लेते हैं और फोन चला लेते हैं. सो नंबर वन इज द माइंडसेट शिफ्ट कि वो 3 घंटे में अगर 2 घंटे भी ईच डे आपने पढ़ाई कर ली तो आपका कोर्स हो जाएगा. मतलब द कोर्स इज नॉट दैट, बल्कि अगर आपने 2 दिन ईच डे पढ़ाई कर ली तो यू विल डू इट. बट द प्रॉब्लम इज कि वो 2 घंटे ईच डे वाली कंसिस्टेंसी भी नहीं आ पाती है. आई थिंक दैट्स पॉइंट नंबर वन. पॉइंट नंबर टू इज थोड़ा सा स्मार्टली. सो लेट्स सपोज 2 साल की आर्टिकलशिप है, 1 साल आप बहुत अच्छे से काम करो, ठीक है, बिकॉज अभी तो एग्जाम 2 साल दूर है, इट्स फाइन. बट आफ्टर 1 year ऑफ योर आर्टिकलशिप वो थोड़ा आपको टीम के साथ हार्ड कमिटमेंट और हार्ड सेइंग होना पड़ेगा कि अब मुझे पढ़ाई भी करनी है. सो नाउ लेट्स सपोज ओके आई विल वर्क ऑन टफ डेज, बट जो नॉर्मल डेज है उसमें मे बी आई विल गो होम ऑन टाइम और आई विल कम एट अ सर्टेन टाइम. तो वो थोड़ा सा यू हैव टू स्टैंड फॉर योरसेल्फ.
राइट. आई थिंक आई कैन more realistically, I think ऐसे कर सकते हैं, like someone can have their first year all in for articleship and try doing coaching to the extent possible, and from second year, once they have developed a good team bond or an experience, and even the articleship experience, because articleship experience भी ले लेना चाहिए अच्छे से, and then they can try managing, then prioritizing, putting the weightage to the studies to the extent possible.
राइट. मतलब आई ऑल्सो डिड द सेम कि 1 साल एकदम काम कर लो, पढ़ाई का छोड़ो, बिकॉज मतलब अगर आप आज भी डे 0 पर भी अगर आप पढ़ना शुरू कर दोगे 3 साल बाद, बिकॉज एग्जाम्स 3 साल बाद है, तो आपको कुछ भी नहीं याद रहेगा. सो वो इररिलेवेंट है. आपने बस नोट्स बना लिया, क्लास सुनकर आ गए, फॉरगेट एवरीथिंग. सो माय टेक वुड बी कि 1 साल ढंग से काम कर लो ऑफिस में, जो थोड़ा मोड़ा जस्ट लाइक यू समराइज्ड कि कर लो, बट सेकेंड ईयर से गो ऑल इन. सो या आई थिंक that worked for me.
Nice. So you are, after your CA, you worked in Bain in a management consulting firm. Uske interviews are quite extensive and grueling. Like they are set, it's a procedure. You require weeks, even months, like minimum couple of weeks of preparation. So if you could just break down how the interview procedure was at Bain, a little brief, ki how many rounds were there, what the rounds were about.
ठीक है. सो आई कवर इट क्विकली. सो यार अगेन एज यू सेड बहुत सेट प्रोसेस होता है, एकदम स्टैंडर्ड प्रोसेस होता है. आपको 3 वीक से 4 वीक का टाइम मिलता है टू प्रिपेयर, एंड दे असाइन यू अ बडी जो आपके साथ यू कैन से 5 से 6 आवर्स स्पेंड करता है थ्रू आउट 3 वीक्स और 4 वीक्स, हेल्प यू प्रिपेयर द केस स्टडीज. एंड देन द इंटरव्यूज आर लाइक 3 to 4 इंटरव्यूज होते हैं. नो HR राउंड, कोई HR नहीं होता. द 3 इंटरव्यूज आर लाइक लेट्स सपोज पहला मैनेजर के साथ हुआ, सेकंड भी मैनेजर के साथ हुआ, एंड देन थर्ड और फोर्थ वुड बी विद अ पार्टनर. सो मिनिमम 3 मैक्सिमम 4 राउंड्स ऑफ इंटरव्यू. नो HR क्वेश्चन, मतलब बहुत मिनिमम HR क्वेश्चन, बट नो HR थिंग्स. प्योर केस स्टडी इंटरव्यूज.
ओके. तो फर्स्ट से लेके थर्ड या फोर्थ तक सब केस स्टडी बेस्ड इंटरव्यूज होते हैं.
all.
ठीक है. तो like certain resources या booklets या video channels, anything that you feel is a good resource to bank upon one while someone is preparing for the interview for these kind of firms.
Got it. So यार couple of books are there in the market. मैंने चूज करा था जो सबसे ओल्ड स्कूल बुक है आईआईटी बॉम्बे की केस स्टडी क्रैक्ड एंड IIM अहमदाबाद की. My primary book, because so my buddy advised me a very good thing कि instead of targeting 2-3 books कि ये भी कर लें वो भी कर लें ये भी कर लें, just stick to one book and do it thoroughly, because आपको 50-60 cases नहीं करने, you just do 20-25 cases very well and then बाकी theoretically glimpse कर लो. So the advice would be there are many books. Few good books would be, I think SRCC का भी there is a case study compendium. This IIT Bombay one is there, case interview cracked. IIM Ahmedabad is there, ISB is there. Stick to one and then कोई दूसरी book को बस skim कर लो just मन की तसल्ली के लिए. But stick to one. That would be my say.
Thoroughly एक को कर लो, बाकी को overview ले लो.
हाँ, वो भी अगर मन है, टाइम है. One is sufficient, मतलब more than enough.
Good way, मतलब one is good. अगर आप one भी कियो तो you are in a good, you should be in a good position. ऐसा नहीं है like
more than a book. The benchmark would be कि 25 to 30 case मतलब case practices would be good enough. अब वो आप कहीं से भी करो, मतलब 25 to 30 would be good enough. Don't overdo it, don't underdo it.
Very delicate balance. So now what would be your advice to be for someone जो class 11-12 में है and CA करना चाहता है and not sure that whether that person should move out of their hometown or and pursue their college in DU and then complete CA. Like, so the pros will be the exposure of DU, and with pros there are cons as well, which is 2 years of life on an average. Like, say if you complete it at 23 or completing CA at 25. So what is your take to someone who is considering these options and is not sure on what to go ahead with?
So see, like I have a journey of college के साथ करने वाला. So my journey was with college, and I have like very good friends who have done it without colleges, who are still at the same place where I am, still in the same like happy space of life. So at the end of the day, both decisions can land you at the same happy stage of life. So it doesn't matter that ways. Because I have done it from DU, so I will always be I will always praise that journey because it gave me friends, it gave me confidence. मतलब DU helped me with such skills जो maybe non-DU मुझे नहीं दे पाता. So I will always be a preacher of saying कि नहीं यार, अगर regular अच्छा college मिल रहा है, so आंख बंद करके you should go for that.
It makes sense. DU gives you those life skills, those people, that environment जो invaluable है that way.
Right. Because यार 1.5 साल का, 2 साल भी नहीं, I would say 1.5 साल का ही फर्क पड़ता है. And in a life of let's say 80 years, it doesn't matter. मतलब 1.5 साल में क्या ही फर्क पड़ता है. But at least मन में ये तो नहीं रहेगा ना कि यार मैं भी कॉलेज करता, मतलब हो जाता है ना यार लोगों के कि यार हम तो कभी कॉलेज ही नहीं गए, तो एटलीस्ट वो नहीं होगा कभी.
But I think it gives you a life in a course which is so professional and so competitive and a lot out of you. Having a regular college gives you that breath of fresh air in between. Nice.
That's true.
That's very nice. Thank you so much, Apurva. I mean, very crisp, clear, to the point, and very positive how you are with your things. Thank you so much for your time and all the best for all your journey and endeavors forward.
Thank you so much for inviting. I hope ki people who will get a chance to see this, they'll learn something, or at least if not learn, they'll get some thoughts around paths and careers. So yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
And it was absolutely nice knowing you.